Horse-drawn carriages to combustion engines, the Civil War, smartphones, the dot-com boom. But what about electric cars? America is leading the way with electric automobiles powered by lithium-ion batteries that produce little to no pollution. Although this is a proposed cleaner method of transportation, how clean are these American electric vehicles and their lithium-ion components in reality?
You always have to generate the electricity to power your battery, and unless you're powering that battery from 100% renewables, which we aren't even close to in this country, you don't have a green form of transportation.
In recent years, electric vehicles have found their role as a niche item, a greener option on roads dominated by gasoline-guzzling combustion engine vehicles.
The use of a battery in vehicles is very helpful for the environment based on the miles per gallon and miles per carbon emitted by the vehicle versus using renewable energy in a green vehicle versus an internal combustion engine with, say, diesel or gas.
Now, companies are beginning to put time and money into developing a new generation of electric vehicles. These companies boast that these vehicles are cleaner and greener, the frontline troops in the battle against rising carbon dioxide levels. Since 27% of greenhouse emissions are caused by vehicles, it makes sense for one to believe electric vehicles will provide a major blow to global carbon dioxide emission.
They're considered no emission because there's no gas tank, there's no exhaust, they're not pushing pollutants into the atmosphere.
Electric vehicles are a highly efficient mode of transportation. Up to 80% of the energy in the battery is transferred directly to power the car, compared to only 14 to 26% of the energy from gasoline-powered vehicles. They utilize a large lithium-ion battery cell to power electric motors to drive the vehicle. These batteries had been developed in order to create lighter and longer-lasting power sources.
The actual process in making lithium-ion cells and car batteries themselves is actually somewhat carbon intensive.
Because lithium-ion batteries are so dangerous if handled improperly, there are quite a bit of restrictions and guidelines as to how they are handled.
Another issue is the transportation of the metals to the United States, of which freighter ships must burn an immense amount of maritime fuel to transport these resources from overseas.
Typical lithium-ion cells are made from nickel, cobalt, aluminum oxides, and so you'll actually have a process by where you take lithium salts and you mix them with a cobalt mixture or nickel, and then you calcify that, and you go through a calcination furnace, and so that's where you have a big carbon footprint.
Just as there are pressing issues with the production of lithium-ion cells, there are also issues with the production of the electricity put into them. Because these batteries run on an electric charge, electric vehicles are able to bypass the combustion of gasoline and therefore avoid emitting any carbon dioxide. If these batteries are charged with renewable energy, then they hardly leave a carbon footprint. However, that is often not the case.
They're only as clean as the energy that comes out of your lights. So if you're charging your battery off of a circuit that's in a part of the grid where renewables make up nothing, and coal is 100% of the energy, the fuel that's used to create electricity, then you're powering your car with coal, which is a pretty dirty commodity.
In some countries, they probably are pretty green, but that goes to where is the electricity being generated, and in the United States, a lot of electricity is generated through coal, which is not truly green. So even though you're using a zero-emission electric car, it's not really zero emission because the electricity is being generated through burning dirty coal.
While states like California burn natural gas, a very clean burning fuel, other states utilize dirtier sources of fuel, such as coal. Despite the high demand for coal to be no longer used as an energy source, the current political stigma held by some to return jobs in the coal industry has made it increasingly harder to make the switch.
The solution is going to be, in my humble opinion, autonomous driving with Uber-like services, and we no longer own cars. I think that's the direction we're moving in. And young people like you will not get licenses, you will not drive, you will just have Uber show up and it'll be an EV, and that is the best way for us to move towards a carbon neutral form of transportation.
As we work our way towards renewable energy sources and greener production and disposal of batteries, our predicted carbon dioxide levels will slowly decrease and our progress can influence the rest of the world to create a sustainable future.